Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you to the Lyric for inviting us. We're going to do a small selection of poems about love, very kind of nuanced, mixed bag of love on the streets, family, and love. And this is a question born of love. We've entered this new universe, looks just like the old one. Small group in the pub, sitting around, cool and inane as it ever was. Lamps are lit, bohemian thrills, loud techno, a life-sized porcelain hound sitting up. Attention alert, a white hard hat poised for action on its head. A stage is filled with debris, waiting for a band to play. Piles of wood and forest litter arranged beneath the microphone on a stand, ready to add their rustle to the proceedings. Yet something is wildly amiss, this flutter in my heart. Is this love? This will to carry on, ignore all threats? Is this love, this will to move through darkness despite the danger? Or maybe the danger makes the need to express joy all the more profound. We are determined creatures in the face of disaster. We will push on through even as our fellow humans fall. We will ignore their loss and push on through to extract something precious from the moment. A smile, a laugh, a story of resilience. In the face of it all, we will not accept defeat. And yet, we ignore the voices of our ancestors as we assert our privilege, leave their shadows in empty anonymity to pursue our folly. We dress in love this will to forge a way through disaster by burying our heads. After all, what can we do? We resign our lives to selective attention, even as the bush burns, cliffs of ice fall, the biosphere billows with carbon, carrying the tortured screams of our children and our grandchildren, and we refuse to listen. Is not this denial of imminent suffering a form of self-hatred? Are they not us, those born and unborn, in the shadows? Why do we ignore the suffocating heart of life in all its richness, sliding off the curve of this planet? This is a question born of love, sitting here in this new universe, watching the hubbub of human interaction, breathing in the beat of each moment now. The lamps are lit, bohemian thrills, cool customers sitting around, cool and inane as it ever was.
Same as it ever was, as Talking Head said. I cut my teeth on poetry, my gums bled, coursed through my veins, whacked my brain, words flooded my mind, filled my head, circulated confidence, stained and sped my tongue that rushed like weeds on the wild river, stretched my uvula, jiggled me jugular, pumped my neck, exploded in my chest, fired my heart and freed my breath, healed my horse-kicked solar plexus, swelled my bed a sweated red, nourished my eggs, ovulated and bred, spun around my belly in visceral shreds, oiled my creaking pelvis, my sacrum swiveled like Elvis, rushed through my legs, running with the wolves, found my pack, dealt and begged for more. My mental health, my body said, this is the love you've been looking for. Thanks.
And love and mental health are the theme of this next poem, Freedom. Who was it stole her from the cradle under cover of dusk? squeezed her through the gap between here and there, to be kept under stones on lost days of oak and elder, hazel and beech. She weighs the shadows of trunk, branch and leaf, feeds the mulch to the peaty soil, loves to feel it crumble between nervous fingers, drinks its twilight aroma to melt the aching when the dappled glow fails and the forest floor turns dark. Held by the pull of gentle hills, she resembles a slow fire in an autumn wood, ever inching towards the place of midnight, where with deft hands she will mould the spell and become herself once more, free from promise.
Promises, promises. Never make them. Glad the inhaler. Pulling on a city like a gangster with a derringer, cloaks of smoke surrounding her aura. Her throat takes in and makes brown stained teeth in her mouth, wide open, laughing in the cafe where she sits and drinks cups of treacle tea, adding stains to her chapel at pegs, now impaling a sausage and tomato, dripping fatty lard, hardening her arteries, once full of live pumping blood from the heart of her. But now she don't give a damn because nothing touches her. In the hostel where she gets the stuff out of her skip, she lays on a pillow, too hard for softness to come over her. She rants and she raves till she can't no more, then, falling off to sleep, she dreams of a lover who loved her long ago when her teeth weren't chapel at pegs, brown from the stain of a ciggy in her finger, holding on to life like a gangster with a derringer. Glad the reliever, pulling on a punter like an angel on a harp, plucking strings, building up to a tune so melodious she finds it insipid. So she lights up a ciggy and she dreams of Icarus flying up to heaven, but it's down to earth with a bum, lumps of gunk on the job in hand, slime and slippy. And the punter's grunts and groans turn into you, Fred, you birdie flipping Willie. He smacks Glad in the gut, she's got a blood split lippy. She runs into the street where she doesn't live. Why can't Eliza enter her soul now? In the dirty bed sit in the street where she does live, she lays on a bed holding a mattress too hard for comfort to wash over her. And she lights up a ciggy, but the smoke mingles in with the blood split lippy. And it hurts. In all her dreams, how did it come to this? Eventually she drops off and she dreams of a lad that she nearly did marry and of the baby she did carry. In the cafe the next day she says to her mate, I need a way out, man. The scalding hot tea makes her wince and grimace. Or a way out, man, the mate tries to be a hippie. They laugh and they joke and they drink and they smoke and they plot and they scheme how they're going to escape this city. But will it be the same? The same? They're cosy for a while, but she knows it won't be long till she's out on the street, pulling on a punter. Not sure where, but in the vicinity. Glad the deceiver lied through her teeth when she filled out applications. Said she had all sorts of degrees and examinations, but the only one she had ended in terminations. Glad the receiver took the money where her mouth was, up an alley against a wall, the back passage, and spat her dreams out like a loose leaf in a releaser. Damn it all! Glad the believer prayed the Almighty would come down and redeem her, but hope like the smoke that eventually choked her and killed her vanished into the ether. So Glad shuffled off her mortal slab, not knowing whether God or the devil would be her deliverer. Hail Glad and all the Glads.
flat there. And this is a very strong contrast. It's another poem of loving childhood for my father. Furniture for a room of loss and mourning. An aura of wood surrounded my father, resolute as the banister we children slid down to avoid the grief dried out in the knots and grain of the furniture of our lives. All the real words sat hiding in a tin bath at the end of the garden, amongst newts and tadpoles, searching for relief until a hot sun evaporated all traces. The house became full of emotional objects, a print of Chester Clock Tower with real picture clock, a sewing machine, an asbestos-coated ironing board, great for scratching, the hope that Mum would paint herself by numbers back into reality. I made a home beneath the upright piano in the living room, whilst Dad tinkled ivory keys on hopeful Sundays, refusing the religion that grew like fungus in the damp patch, invading the space left by burnt brain cells. The piano sits there still, playing an out-of-tune silence, battered, majestic, a reminder of a love etched like varnished wood grain into the shadow of all the unsaid things.
How do I follow that? Bend over. On Prague Street there was a lady. Where she's gone I do not know. Shuffling along, a lady in navy stopped and performed her ritual. Shuffle. Pull skirt up. Knickers down. Bend over. Pull them up. Pull it down, stand straight up, stop, shuffle on. Pull skirt up, knickers down, bend over, pull them up, pull it down, stand straight up, shuffle on. On Prague Street there was a lady. In the charity shop she did go, 50p short for a new jacket. The volunteer wouldn't let it go. I proffered the 50p. She donned the coat, shuffled out and shuffled off. On Prague Street there was a lady. Where she's gone I do not know. I haven't seen her for some years now, since the psychiatric wing has closed. Thank you.
This is a love ode to those altered states of consciousness that society seems to denigrate. It's called The Meaning of Psychosis. Falling into that hill where earth, sun, moon and stars connect. Rhyming Thomas calls, and you want to go where eyes that don't see peep through shadows of ancient markings, spelling traces of a memory of a house older than God's. Falling into that time before, dog-bound and cradle-snatched, you imagine a knowledge intuitive and broad. Hear ancestors reading the flight of herring gulls, the mood of crows, or the alighting of a robin on midnight's tree. Falling into that yearning to see again the first splitting cell reenacting its magic, below a living landscape amongst oaks that advise when your soul laces remain bound to a gate of relentless mundanity. Falling once more beyond the filter that holds one moment to the next, we become as fish in the grass seeking to forgive moon its monstrous children. whispers louder than dust or flame in a human room where thought and fact collide.
Whispers louder than dust, kisses sweeter than wine. Lovely line, Colin. This is my love song to London because it saved me. Thank you, London, for saving this wreck, for giving me a chance to resurrect, for saving this nondescript with nothing but baggage, for giving me a purpose, rebuilding the damage. Thank you, tradition, but thank God for the M1. Thank you, National Express, for bringing me home. To shed hardened skins, recapture youth just in my 20s. Thousands of streets, some paved with gum that's very old, for making me see all the gold. For solid buildings giving me stability. THF hotels for giving me a job. Thank you, Mr. Forte. For alternative days off to discover Strangers Gallery, Tuesday nights and ombres, cheap vodka and free entry. For your empire in Leicester Square, I dared to dance, letting my problems fly with the wind up Oxford Street at 3 a.m. For opening these childish eyes, forgiving my mistakes. For the path to the truth, diversity. For the Jubilee Gardens and the GLC. For the Smiths and Fall, concerts for free. For route masters outside Hammersmith Palais. For black cabs from the dirt box from Camden Palace. For the underground's warmth in morning's first carriage. For Soho all-nighters at the Bat Cave, the Mud Club, Jean-Pierre's and gossips. When I dream of leaving, moan at overcrowding. For you, Bakerloo, waking me in time. For taking me to the end of the line. For when I'm tired of you, I remember how you saved my life. For my sanity, for giving me a new start. Thank you, London, from the bottom of my heart.
Love it or hate it, you've got to love London. This is a poem about the love of my sister. Death and rebirth, another childhood poem. In the cold light of school days, how did I come to disappear? Cradled in fear, wrapped in brown paper dreams, and mailed to the dark of the moon on a young day when the Buddha sky moved across the filling lawn. I kept believing in love, even the days Mum would stock a screaming larder with baby jars, believing dead Billy Bridget had filled her womb. Burnt by expectation, I curled into a hedgehog ball wrapped in hurt butter, a foundation for the vanishing cream inherited from birth. Alone with a silent forest of senseless thoughts and tears, I tried to unravel the formula, determined to make sense of a journey with no beginning or obvious conclusion. Lost and broken, I awoke to a magical room my sister built on a red moon when the mirror told her I couldn't stay anymore.
Turns out that a certain lady over the water was born many years after, on the same day as my mother, so I've called this Jenny Gargoyle. Jenny Gargoyle, burning bright star, however far I am there with you, on that snow-deep road, breaking waters, to give birth to the son you would lose 20 years hence on that same route. How you must have felt on that bus into town. I just watched and wondered. Now understand, I'm there with you walking into town. For miles in the night to get away, The eldest is 7-year-old in tow, a baby in pram, determined to find a way out. Sleeping peacefully in a brick through the window, then kicking in the door. 2 more black eyes. What to do but walk back that early morning? Your spirit went to the desk sergeant who may have saved your life. But the cowardly lion blackmailed a 7-year-old, tell her no, no, mammy, no. Should I have been born years later, it's tough to take this torture. Without you to tell you I love you, to tell you how I admire your courage, to tell you how I want to hug you, to tell you how I didn't understand until it was too late, to tell you I want to, well, kill those who called you vile names, cowards themselves. Are you there in the sky with the stars, Jenny Gaga, looking down on me, burning bright? I hope you are. I send you my love.
This is a poem about a love for my son, Mansuit. This baby place remembers you, newly made, a smile perhaps imagined, and a way of holding the little finger outwards as if grasping a cup of tea at a garden party. All-consuming, you transformed lives brought the seemingly impossible within reach, eager to climb rocks when even crawling was dangerous, slippery. I grew several heads in a bid for reinvention, searching each face for self-belief as a father. Love was easy as leaves. In the woods, making dens of our soft hearts, I could fall into you, the place of stories and play. And now, holding that memory, the feeling you gave, connecting to something bigger, older than anything. I wonder how to wear this tired man suit, conviction threadbare, as the time comes to pack away the picnic, leave the lawn to settle as the cycle turns once more.
This is about the love of my accent, which was denied me for a long time, but I'm reclaiming it. My accent, dialect of an old people, Saxon Bible tongue, hewn from rock, soil, grass, toil, coil, ammers, pigs, spit shiny buicks, thridings of ancient kings, black breed, kestrel wings. You manufactured middle cliff and snip side my class like brass, acid on brass, fake diamond on slicing china, serrated thong on a hairy arse. Stretch my weapon, take home, thrift the younger town, days of Europe north, pretentious folks said, talk properly, lose that accent. What accent? It's me, it's my chattel chat. Deep for a lass, my voice got laughs. Did I want to talk posh? I felt ashamed. Let them elocutionize me. But I said I have to be me, speak my verb. It's my property. Still fighting morons years on who take the piss. Officer in shiny buttons. Where's that stupid accent from? Will you lie, you blue bottle, get it!
And this is another that I really don't envy Jenny having to sign. I have been refused by sign language interpreters in the past. But I think this actually could have been written for the lady on Craig Street that Wendy earlier. It's called Outside the Mental Institute. She prays for sparkling rain, waiting in the earthed place. No sound or movement at the end of the moment, resting on Lethe's heels. She picks bones from the dog tray, speaks silently to the wedding. Every awakening breath a reminder of salad days on the empty moon. She sings of life on unmade weeks, ponders love lost in the breathing soup, whilst looking forward to feeding time in the factory where dreams are made. She doesn't hold on to candles anymore, nor conspire a flight from Malkuth during the culling season when the angels aren't looking. She slips in and out of breakfast, drowses in momentary bursts, reading slowly to the vacant air on nights when the jailer sleeps. She washes her footsteps, spills seamlessly into far-off intimacies, and treasures each jewel-like drop, those water-skin memories, fragile as a leaf skeleton.
Movie star. Transparent as the film, sealed by the kiss of a movie star's black painted lips, blowing 100-year silence. Clara was a hope, but all you did was flick your bow, too vehemently for the day. They say you fucked a football team. Easier to allow the censor's dream to lock you in a bubble and demean your gift. Hidden rifts, your mother's madness, father's incest, violation of your breast. You're still the it girl. You said to Head Hopper, remember me? Are we? Harlow unfairly dubbed the silent T. Young perfect body exposed in Laurel and Hardy. What else would a sex bomb be? What else would a strip tease? Your skirt trapped in a limo door. Was that the first sign of whore? Mama's religious belief. No help for a girl dying. Too young, too strong. After you're gone. Celluloid devotee, a book on my shelf. To comfort, to behold. Glamour far from the reach of starry wannabes in the 30s. Then your truth covered in gloss and lights. Bites of another world came through. Seats of a small town picture house. Who could live up to you? Thank you.
Love and survival. This is called Playing Soldiers. The self splits, divides like some strange amoeba, part beast, barely human. If the remains lying there on the half-baked breadboard could speak, what good would it do in the saving game? Perhaps it's the storm in the roasted pit of the stomach that sparks the eye of a feeble turn as the walls fall, and all those tumbling moments of staring blankly at vague openings. I'll start that again. Sorry. This is another song from a song for my son. The self splits, divides like some strange amoeba, part beast, barely human. If the remains lying there on the half-baked breadboard could speak, what good would it do in the saving game? Perhaps it's the storm in the roasted pit of the stomach that sparks the eye of a feeble turn as the walls fall, and all those tumbling moments of staring blankly at vague openings in the cosmos with you return. We look into the shady darkness of each other's failings, like penguins sidling up to each other, sharing mirrors, clipped wings bristling, wondering who we are when the morning rain comes to drench our jeans. Love glances from sideway looks. Glazed truth spirited by 1,000 years of war, lodged in our blood, the need to fight, to soldier on, red earth beneath our feet. Thank you. You've been a lovely audience. I'm going to finish on a short poem from Richard Downes, for whom we thank for being here. And this is called Juice Heartbeats, prompted by Yoko Ono's beat piece in Grapefruit, written for G and yourself. Heartbeats, listen to these heartbeats, pounding for you and me when we are involved together, loving. Our blood, flowing deep red, keeps us alive, breathing, dreaming our romantic visions, scuppered. When heart stops its routine metronomic movements, skip their beats when we are angry, untwined, untied, looking for ways back to our loving lives. Just stop, listen. Do you hear it? Heartbeats. Thank you.